Welcome. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees. Welcome to our online session, online book reading session of the book, The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada by His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. So we are in page number 200 in the book. Fulfillment of previous Acharya's efforts. So we start with offering prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Grishthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namo. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Grishthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo. Namaste Saraswati Vivacharya. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyati Adesha Dharane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karati Vacham Shri Chaitanya Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Vagishaya Sudari Lakshmi Vasakshasya Syastir Desan Vittam Vichit Yonta Pravishya Vacham Mahaprasutta Sanjivayate Kavachat Dharasudam Jnana Shastra Chakrashramat Purani Vishaya Vijayaguru Parivanya तो भजन सुखाओ तो मुझे हरे कृष्णा Fulfillment of the previous Acharya's efforts. Just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, quote, things that I cannot personally do, I will execute through you, unquote. 775 reference, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila chapter 4, text 78 to 83. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally worked through Srila Prabhupada, continuing the tasks that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bequeathed Sanatana and Rupa Goswamis. Reference, see Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 1, text 218, and Antilila, chapter 4, text 18. Continuing the tasks that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bequeathed Sanatana and Rupa Goswamis, Srila Prabhupada preached the glories of Vrindavan, wrote many books, created new holy places, and explained and established devotional service. Quote, when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami went to Vrindavan, there was not a single temple, but by preaching, they were gradually able to construct various temples. Unquote. Reference 777. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 7, text 164 purport. Similarly, when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, there was not a single temple, but by preaching, he was gradually able to construct various temples. What a comparison. I never heard anybody telling like this. Oh. Although the early Gaudiya Acharyas had quote, left literature. They did not attempt to preach practically, unquote, as had Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. 778 reference, see lecture, 13th December 1973. Astonishingly, Srila Prabhupada did both. He preached as powerfully and even more widely than his own Guru Maharaj, while simultaneously emulating the previous acharyas by producing dozens of books. The Radha Damodara temple. In a corner of Sevakunj, the area of Vrindavan, where Sri Krishna, who is to be served by all, eternally renders personal service to Srimati Radharani. Srila Jiva Goswami established the worship of Sri Radha Damodara. Srila Prabhupada noted, in this very sacred place, all the Goswamis used to study Bhagavatam under the leadership of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. This is the most important place. 778 reference, lecture, 16th October 1972. Within the temple compound are Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhajana Kutira and Samadhi, as also the Samadhis of Srila Jiva Goswami and many other Gaudiya luminaries. In July 1962, Srila Prabhupada established his residence there, deeming it, quote, the most sacred and significant place for all followers of Sri Chaitanya, unquote. 780 reference, Achyutananda Das, Blazing Sadhus, page 90. From 1960 to 65, where I lived, I would sit in these rooms and chant Hare Krishna and see the samadhis of Jiva and Rupa Goswamis. Just by thinking of how they wrote, I got courage to write. I would type and cook a little. I lived very simply, content to be in Rupa Goswami's presence. These samadhis are the best in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. They inspired me to go to the West. Now I have hundreds of temples to go to, but I still like it here best of all. Code 781, Haigriva Swami, Vrindavan Days, Chapter 5. Srila Prabhupada referred to the Radha Damodara temple as his, quote, eternal residence, unquote. 782 reference, Satsarup Das Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, Chapter 41, quote, the battle for Bombay, unquote. And his, quote, heart and soul, unquote, 783 reference, see letter 18 March 1967, and consider the corner where his rooms were to be like the hub of the wheel of the spiritual world, the center. He requested that his rooms be well maintained and cleansed daily, indefinitely in the future. Wow. Code 784, Satsarup Das Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, Chapter 37. Quote, the land is yours, unquote, Haigriva Swami, Vrindavan Days. It was in these rooms that Srila Prabhupada prepared himself for global preaching, most importantly by composing his commentary on the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he said he gave everything necessary to become Krishna conscious because he didn't know if he could complete more. And from these rooms, Srila Prabhupada disclosed the worldwide Krishna consciousness movement had begun by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami. 785 reference, Shrutakirti Das, personal correspondence with Bhakti Vikasa Swami. Indeed, while Srila Prabhupada was residing at Radha Damodar, Srila Rupa Goswami directly instructed him to venture to the West. Harishwari, were you very well known in Vrindavan before you came? Srila Prabhupada, not well known, but people knew me. Harishwari, because you are writing or Srila Prabhupada, yes. Harishav. Or because of your ambition to come to the West. Srila Prabhupada. No, at that time there was no such thing. I was living there, retired man. Harishav. So, where you went to Vrindavan, you would give up the idea of coming to the West or Srila Prabhupada. No, coming to the West, the idea was there, but I was planning how to go. Harishav. Oh, nothing concrete was there, Srila Prabhupada. So that idea was there, but how to go there, how to preach there, how to take some books, how to bring them, everything alone. Harishav. So as soon as you had come, as soon as you had some books, then you were Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Then I decided. Everything was being dictated by superior. Harishav. I was told that one day you were told by Rupa Goswami that you must go, Srila Prabhupada. But that was an open secret. Everyone knew. 786 reference. Conversation 26th July 1976. Okay. I would request some of the devotees to read. Any new devotees? No. Hare Krishna. Gopinatheshwari Mataji. Please read.
Prabhu, I have some cough, so can you please ask somebody else to read?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, Rachita Mataji, can you please read?
Okay, Prabhu. Pranam, Prabhuji. I'll read. From Bhakti Vinoda to Bhakti Siddhanta to Bhakti Vedanta, to give everyone a chance to add Krishna to his life is Srila Prabhupada's mission. A mission given him by his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the mission of a long line of spiritual masters dating back 500 years to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Reference 787. FATE, the first American theistic exhibition, Back to Godhead, Article 12.7, 1977. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay. The acharyas in all Vaishnav Sampradayas prior to the appearance of Srila Madhavendra Puri were certainly glorious and were worshipable, but those in Mahaprabhu's Gaudiya Sampradaya were even more exalted due to their being infused with Unnat Ujjvala Rasa, the most exalted and resplendent.
Mataji, not exalted, elevated.
Elevated and resplendent mellow of bhakti. Text reference 788, Chaitanya Charitamrit, Adi Leela, 3rd chapter, 4th text. Which indeed is the distinguishing characteristic of Lord Chaitanya's Sampradaya. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya brings to perfection all that had been taught and practiced in other Vaishnav Sampradayas. 789 reference. For discussion of this point, see Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav, Volume 3, Chapter 8, quote, Other Vaishnav Sampradayas and Sadhus, unquote. Shortly before Mahaprabhu's appearance, Srila Madhavendra Puri became the first to manifest symptoms of Unnat Ujjvala Rasa, which Mahaprabhu further exhibited and distributed. Shortly,
here, one thing I wanted to just ask you. In the 787 reference, it is given FATE, the first American theistic exhibition. Does anybody know what is this first American theistic exhibition? Anybody read about this? Does anybody know about this?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. This is Vamshali Das.
I think. This one.
Yes, Prabhu. I have come across this in Los Angeles. There was this fate exhibition.
This is what is that?
Exhibition. So, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted these dioramas to explain the key concepts in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So,
the same way Prabhupada did the first American theistic exhibition, the big diorama festival. Till now, the dioramas are there. I didn't get the opportunity to visit Los Angeles temple. It's there.
yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah. I think that the Krishna, the Govinda Madhipurusha, that famous picture of Krishna, Rasalila and Ashtasakhi, that particular picture is there from that temple, from that east date. And the transmigration of the soul, so showing all those. That's there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second. Here.
We were to read
Yes,
from shortly. Yes.
shortly.
Shortly before Mahaprabhu's appearance, Srila Madhavendra Puri became the first to manifest symptoms of Unnatajwala Rasa, which Mahaprabhu further exhibited and distributed. Shortly after Lord Chaitanya's departure, many brilliant acharyas appeared, notably Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Prabhu, Sri Nivasacharya, and Vishwanath Chakravarti. But after their disappearance, the Gaudiya world gradually became overrun with Prakrit Sahajya and other bogus sects, to the extent that by the 19th century, many cultured Bengalis considered Gaudiya Vaishnavism to be a sex cult. Unsurprisingly, Lord Chaitanya's followers came to wonder what his prediction, quote, "In every town and village, my name will be broadcast," unquote, reference 790, Chaitanya Bhagavat 3.4.126c, could mean, or if such a task could even be achieved. Did Lord Chaitanya refer only to every town and village in India, or perhaps just in Bengal, where his followers were largely concentrated? Yet even in Bengal, the overt emotionalism of the Vaishnavas and their peculiar teachings and practices seemed foreign to many of the intellectual class. How then could they be communicable to actual foreigners? Hope arose with the coming of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 1838 to 1914. He worked hard to re-establish the purity and authenticity of Lord Chaitanya's teachings, and he was the first Gaudiya Acharya to socially interact with and philosophically confront, quote, the West, unquote, in an early phase of what has now become globalization. He conceived of spiritual counter-colonialism. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw in globalization the possibility of spreading Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission worldwide, and that soon it would actually come to pass. In 1891, he wrote, "The dharma preached by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is universal and not exclusive. The principle of Kirtan as the future church of the world invites all classes of men, without distinction of caste or clan, to the highest cultivation of the spirit. It appears that this church will spread worldwide and replace all sectarian churches which exclude outsiders from the precincts of the mosque, church, or temple. Lord Chaitanya did not advent to liberate only a few men in India. Rather, his main objective was to emancipate all living entities of all countries throughout the entire universe and to propagate the eternal Dharma. Lord Chaitanya states in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, quote, "In every town, country and village, my name will be sung," unquote. There is no doubt that this unquestionable order will come to pass. Although there is still no pure society of Vaishnavas, Lord Chaitanya's prophetic words will in a few days come true. I am sure. Why not? Nothing is absolutely pure in the beginning. From imperfection, purity will come about. Very soon, the unparalleled path of Harinam Sankirtan will be propagated all over the planet. Oh, for that day when the fortunate English, French, Russian, Prussian, and American people will take up banners, mridangas, and kartalas and perform kirtan through their streets and towns. When will that day come? Oh, for the day when the Western fair-skinned men from one side, while chanting Jai Sachinandan Ki Jai, will extend their arms and embracing the devotees of our country coming from another side, treat us with brotherly feelings. When will that day be? On such a day, they'll say, quote, "Our dear Aryan brothers, we have taken shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, who is the ocean of transcendental love. Kindly embrace us." Unquote. When will that day come? That day will witness the holy transcendental Vaishnav Prem to be the only dharma, and like rivers meeting the ocean, all narrow creeds will mix with the unlimited Vaishnav dharma. When will that day come? Reference 791. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quoted in Sajjan Toshani, Article 4.3.41, 1891, quoted in Bhakti Vikas Swami, Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav, Volume 1, page or purport, I don't know, 4 to 5. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was assisted by his spiritual son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who took the initiative much further in the next generation by starting an organized movement that from the beginning was meant for international expansion and even to other planets and other species. Although by necessity, most of his effort went into first making a strong base in India. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati aggressively railed against Mayavad, pseudo-Vaishnavism, and indeed all kinds of speculative departures from truth. However, as with all genuine acharyas, he was not only interested in defeating wrong philosophies and spurious religious expressions, his main purpose was to teach the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It is
Okay,
in
madam.
the okay.
Okay,
Thank
madam. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Ganna Chandra Prabhu, can you please read? Oh, it's not there. Okay. Uh, Okay, Rupanand Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Then
Yes.
it is in this tradition and with this mission that Srila Prabhupada appeared. At their first meeting in 1922, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur requested Srila Prabhupada to broadcast Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching in English. That request was later confirmed as Srila Prabhupada described. His Divine Grace Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, just before his departure from this mortal world, wrote me a letter from Puri dated the 3rd December 1936, directing me toward my duty in fulfilling his mission in the world for propagating the religion of divine love as propounded by Lord Chaitanya. In course of writing that letter, he wrote the following lines among other things. I am fully confident that you can explain in English our thoughts and arguments to the people who are not conversant with that language of other members. This will do much good to yourself as well as your audience. I have every hope that you can turn yourself into a very good English preacher if you serve the mission to inculcate the novel impression to the people in general and philosophers of modern age and religiosity. Reference Back to Godhead 1.14, 1944. In this way, it was by the cumulative directed effort of three mighty acharyas that Krishna consciousness spread worldwide. Ultimately, it was His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who, on the order and with the full blessing of the previous acharyas, internationalized the Krishna conscious movement and realized the prediction Lord Chaitanya had made 500 years earlier that his name would be spread to every town and village in the world. As Ravindra Swarup Das noted, Srila Prabhupada was empowered with the vision, the knowledge, and the compassion to fulfill the innermost desire of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He worked only for 12 years with crude and unmalleable materials, his disciple, and yet the whole world heard the Hare Krishna mantra and the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam found their way into every nook and corner of the globe. Carrying Lord Chaitanya's mission as far as he was able, Srila Prabhupada broke new ground practically every day. Consequently, he was challenged repeatedly to make the correct decisions. At stake was the vital issue: how to prepare and perpetuate, unchanged the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in unprecedented circumstances. By virtue of his faithful following, Srila Prabhupada was given the intelligence to meet these challenges. Reference 793, Ravindra Swarup Das, Vyas Puja Offering, 1995. Humbly, indirectly, Srila Prabhupada acknowledged his role as the fulfillment of the previous two prominent acharyas. It is the desire of Bhakti Vinod Thakur to preach the Chaitanya cult all over the world. And in 1875, he predicted that someone would come very soon who would individually preach this cult all over the world. Reference 794, letter dated 23rd February 1971. I am simply a messenger. The mercy is of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada here refers to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Before your coming, they predicted that somebody will bring. Maybe that somebody I am Chuckles. Bhakti Vinod Thakur predicted. Reference 796. Conversation dated 23rd March 1975. Two occurrences in 1896 foreshadowed the coming of Krishna consciousness to the Western world. Although at that time no one could have understood their significance. Brahmananda Swami related, in Calcutta in 1896, the teaching of Lord Chaitanya began their journey to the West. In Bengali speaking Calcutta on August 20th of that year, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur published a small English treatise entitled Lord Chaitanya, His Life and Precepts. 71
Precepts.
precepts. 71 years later, in 1967 in Montreal, Canada, a graduate student came across a copy of this book while browsing through the rare book collections of the McGill University Library. The book was a wonderful find for him because he was a dedicated follower of Lord Chaitanya's, having been convinced of Lord Chaitanya's teachings by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, whom he had accepted as his spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada was born in Calcutta on September 1st, 1896, only a few days after Lord Chaitanya, his life and precepts was published. Thus, by a transcendental arrangement, this significant book and he who would fulfill the purpose of the book appeared together. Reference 797 Brahmananda Das, How the Teaching of Lord Chaitanya Came to the Western World, Part 1, Back to Godhead Magazine, 66, 1974. Srila Prabhupada noted the significance of this coincidence. Thakur Bhakti Vinod in 1896 sent Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message to McGill University. I was born in 1896. These are coincidences. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was the first origin of this movement, but he simply thought of it and he was expecting some other's appearance would take up the work. Well, somebody says that I am the same man. Now, after so many years, a servant of that disciplic succession has come here and again to preach. So these things are significant. Reference 798, lectures dated 18th March 1967, conversation dated 13 March 1975. It was all Krishna's arrangement. 1896, Bhakti Vinod Thakur wanted to introduce this Krishna conscious movement by sending his books. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life and precepts. Fortunately, that year was my birth year, and by Krishna's arrangement, we came in contact. I was born in a different family. My Guru Maharaj was born in a different family. Who knew that I will come to his protection? Who knew that I would come to America? Who knew that you American boys would come to me? These are all Krishna's arrangements. We cannot understand how things are taking place. Reference 799, conversation dated 9 December 1968. Again, alluding to this, in his dedication to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, reference 800, conversation dated 13 March 1975, dedicated to the sacred service of Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who initiated the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in the Western world, McGill University, Canada, in 1896, the year of my birth.
Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. तुलसी चरण माता जी. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am also having a problem, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Vijayana Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhuji. Serving and glorifying the previous acharyas. I have done nothing extraordinary. I am simply a canvasser for the disciplic succession. Reference 801. Jadurani Devi Dasi, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit interview. Srila Prabhupada always presented himself and should be seen as a servant of the previous acharyas, as a representative of a tradition. He specifically stated, "My mission is to develop the glories of Srila Jiva Goswami all over the world." 802 reference, letter 15 December 1966. Even before he journeyed to the West, Srila Prabhupada envisaged the task of worldwide preaching to hing upon altering thoughtful persons to the unparalleled writings of the previous acharyas, as evidenced by the following excerpts from his early writings.
Excerpts.
From his early writings. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan have written extensive literature with detailed explanations of Lord Krishna. These confidential revelations are yet to be properly broadcast in the world. The Goswamis' esoteric logic and profound analytical philosophy have not yet caught the attention of modern thinkers, and the burden of guilt for this discrepancy must indeed fall on us. The Gaudiya Math mission was founded to propagate the works of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, 803, Renunciation Through Wisdom, Chapter 4. Caught many devotees of Lord Chaitanya like Srila Vrindavana Das Thakur, Sri Lochana Das Thakur, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Sri Kavi Karnapura, Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and in this latter age, within 200 years, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti, Sri Valadev Vidyabhushana, Sri Shyamananda Goswami, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and at last Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our spiritual master, and many more, and many other great and renowned scholars and devotees of the Lord have prepared voluminous books and literatures on the life and precepts of the Lord. Such literatures are all based on the Shastras like the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other histories and authentic literatures approved by the recognized acharyas. They are unique in composition and unrivaled in presentation, and they are full of transcendental knowledge. Unfortunately, the people of the world are still ignorant of them. But when these literatures, which are mostly in Sanskrit and Bengali, come to light the world, and when they are presented before thinking people, then India's glory and the message of love will overflow this morbid world, which is vainly searching after peace and prosperity of various illusory methods.
Mataji, peace and prosperity by various illusory methods.
Okay, peace and prosperity by various illusory methods and approved by the acharyas in the
Not
chain of
approved.
sorry,
Mataji, not approved.
not sorry Prabhuji, methods not approved by the acharyas in the chain of disciplic succession. Reference 804, Srimad Bhagavatam introduction. Always seeing himself as a faithful follower of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada conferred upon ISKCON the Gaudiya Math mandate to propagate the words of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, 805 reference, Renunciation through Wisdom, Chapter 4, and to fulfill all other tasks that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had set the Gaudiya Math. For Srila Prabhupada, the duties of teaching, writing, preaching, traveling, managing, and initiating were all equal aspects of furthering the mission of his Guru, and he treated them equally as components of his service as a disciple. When he spoke as a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And when he wrote his books, he did so as a faithful messenger of his Guru's conclusions.
Wow.
When he managed his young ISKCON society, it was on behalf of his spiritual master, who always wanted a mission in the Western world. And when he gave initiation, he did so as a service to his spiritual master, not for any self-interest. 806 reference. This paragraph is from Kripa Maya Das, the Guru and Disciple book, page number 293. Clearly, to further understand the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada, it is helpful to understand the mood and mission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, 807 reference. The mood and mission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is extensively documented in Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav by Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, who similarly defined himself as a faithful follower of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur to be a faithful follower of Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada and of the whole parampara. He requires appreciating the dynamic principle of oneness and difference between the great acharyas. In our case, it means to understand Srila Prabhupada's unique personal contribution to the ongoing mission of the acharyas and to imbibe the mood of serving and glorifying the previous acharyas. One cannot be acharyas without following strictly in the disciplic succession of the acharyas. One who is actually serious about advancing in devotional service should desire only to satisfy the previous acharyas. Yehi chaya gosa. Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm not.
Echai Gosai Yar Mui Tar Das.
Taradas. Okay. One should always think of oneself as a servant of the acharyas, and thinking this, one should live in the society of Vaishnavas. 808 reference. Chaitanya Charita Amrit, Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 156 purport.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So we are moving to a new chapter, chapter 8. Okay. Paramatmananda Prabhu.
Yes, Guruji.
Chandrakimati, I give you after Prabhuji. Just
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you very much.
please be patient. 1 second. I will explain. Okay. Yeah. Continue, Prabhu. Chapter 8, best disciple of his Guru.
8 best disciple of his Guru. Some disciples of Srila Prabhupada, godbrothers, claim their own Guru to have been most favored by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, followers of Srila Prabhupada, while remaining respectful to all honorable Vaishnavas, except as an objective fact that he is in a class of his own, being incomparably the most influential Vaishnava of the modern age. This is not a sectarian perspective. The facts speak for themselves. By implementing Krishna consciousness,
No. By implanting.
by implanting Krishna consciousness in the West, Srila Prabhupada did what was considered impossible. Although not the first Gauriya sannyasi to preach on Western shores, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had sent his sannyasi preachers B. H. Vaughan and B. P. Tirtha to Europe in 1933. He was unquestionably the most successful, opening the tradition to non-Hindus in unprecedented ways. 809 reference. This sentence is from Paul H. Sharvo, Pradyumna Das, in the Hare Krishna movement, the post-charismatic fate of a religious transplant, page 144. The mandate to preach worldwide was open to all the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They knew that their Gurudev wanted Krishna consciousness preached internationally, while the others had despaired at the prospects of preaching overseas. Srila Prabhupada was enthusiastically planning a worldwide network of Vaishnavas, temples, Gurukulas, rural communities, and high court judges with tilaka. Yet, despite all pleas to his godbrothers for
All please.
support,
All
or
please.
all pleas to his godbrothers for support, Srila Prabhupada ended up conducting the Western mission alone. Subsequently, his preaching went on to eclipse that of his godbrothers. Unquestionably, ISKCON is the preponderant face of
Vaishnavism in the world today.
Vaishnavism in the world today. Its fame, influence, and membership far exceed that of all his godbrothers' institutions combined, having far more centers in far more locations throughout the world, and being uniquely dynamic in spreading Krishna consciousness. Furthermore, Srila Prabhupada's books are incomparably more influential than those of his godbrothers, being easily the most widely produced, distributed, read, and respected as authoritative among contemporary Vaishnava publications. Reference 810.
Prabhu, that is authoritative, not authoritative. Authoritative.
Authoritative. But see also Srila Prabhupada's verdict. Quote, you cannot judge a movement simply by the number of its followers. Unquote. Quoted on another point, things can change. ISKCON might fracture or decline and become overshadowed. Whatever may happen, Srila Prabhupada's contribution will remain unique.
Yeah.
None of this happened by mere fortuity. What is the meaning of fortuity? By chance?
We'll see. One second. By fortune, I think. By chance, occurrence, yes.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada was distinctly different from his. Furthermore, Srila Prabhupada's books are incomparably more
No,
influential.
No, none of it this happened by
None of
mere
this
fortune.
happened by mere fortuity. Srila Prabhupada was distinctly different from his god
No.
brothers. As noted by Dr. Charles Selengart, an American professor and prolific author.
One second.
While he was theologically orthodox, his emphasis on the priesthood, that is, Brahminical initiation of all fully committed Krishna devotees, regardless of nationality and family origin, and his willingness to virtually go it alone in the West with little help, and even some opposition from his own god brothers, differentiates him from other initiated disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta. Reference 811. Charles Selengert, quote, charisma and religious innovation, unquote. ICJ.
ISKCON Communications Journal.
ISKCON Community Journal.
Communications.
Communication.
Communications. ISKCON. There is a department in ISKCON called ministry called ISKCON Communications. So their journal is there. So they print a journal. Yes.
Okay. ISKCON Communication Journal, and it is written as number 4.2.
Yes, article number 4.2.
Article number 4.2, December 1996. But why was it he, among so many learned, austere, and otherwise qualified disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who received such empowerment? Srila Prabhupada once himself seemed to wonder about this. My Guru Maharaj liked me from the very heart. By his blessing, everything has happened. I was not worth. What did I? Question mark. I do not know why he liked. I was not worth. There were so many disciples, and still he liked me. Reference 812. Conversation 20 February 1977. The answer given by Srila Prabhupada himself. Everyone knows that my Guru Maharaj had thousands of disciples. Out of thousands of disciples, practically I am a little successful. That everyone knows. Why? Because I firmly believed in the words of my Guru. There may be many other God brothers, may be very learned and very advanced, whatever it may be, favored. Everyone claims that, quote, I am the most favorite, unquote, and practical point of view. So I think sometimes that, quote, why these wonderful things has happened to me, unquote. So I search out. I search out that only I, 100% believe in the words of my spiritual master. Reference 813. Conversation 28 January 1977. As one disciple of Srila Prabhupada surmised, although Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had many disciples and followers, it seems that Srila Prabhupada uniquely possessed the capacity to carry on his will and emulate his success. It was as if of all his god brothers, he alone seems to have truly heard what his spiritual master was saying and truly observed what his spiritual master was doing. Though by no means the best placed person to have gleaned such insight, there being many disciples with far more direct association and possessing far more organizational authority than Abhay Babu, somehow Srila Prabhupada's capacity to fully realize and integrate the words, actions and desires of his spiritual master proved exceptional. Accordingly, when circumstances finally compelled him to act essentially in unilateral fashion, Srila Prabhupada was able to do so with such unparalleled clarity and force that he handedly transformed the legacy of his Guru Maharaj into a phenomenon, not just to local effect, but of worldwide, international consequence. Reference 814. Atmaram Das, Vyas Puja Offering 2024. By the grace, is it 2024 2004?
Huh?
Reference number 814.
Yes, Prabhu, you tried to. Yeah.
Okay.
Today is
Oh,
24.
24. Okay.
Yes.
By the grace of his Guru Maharaj, only Srila Prabhupada was able to take the ideals of his Guru Maharaj, which were
Seemingly, okay.
seemingly impossibly high even for most Indians, and translate them into a practical formula whereby even wretchedly fallen Westerners in large numbers could envision, embrace, and make positive progress towards realizing those ideals.
Okay. Let's,
Okay.
I think we can stop here because it's already 8:14. If we read this, then I don't know. Oh, this is a big article, big section. We will stop here. Unless until somebody has any question, they can ask. I didn't receive anybody recording their video. I would like to announce once again that devotees, please render your, what I can say, render your video with the book, in the 3-volume book, explaining or inspiring devotees about the book, and then record it and please send me. That is very, very important. You can read any of the quote and say that this is why everybody should take this book or read this book. Whatever maybe whatever Krishna inspires you, however long is it, however short is it, it's your wish, and we want your speaking motion picture. It's called as video with the book when we will publish it on our YouTube channel of the Customers, on our Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere. So we want to flood the market with the videos so that it will materialize. People will see those videos because it will come in their feed. So I request everybody, all the devotees, So please make videos and send to me as soon as possible. So we have still another 10 to 15 days. By the time Vyasa Puja comes, we want to publish around 100 videos. If it is possible, at least one devotee, Mataji, Prabhuji, they can do separately or together, whatever is possible. Try to inspire devotees. Don't try to jolt immediately the controversial things or anything. Just inspire them to take the book and read it and understand it in such a way so that the book will do the needful. Hare Krishna. So there's so many topics are there in this. So we request everybody to make videos and please sign. And until then, if anybody wants to say something, they are free to speak now. Hare Krishna. If anybody has doubts to ask. No? Okay. Okay, Prabhuji, Mataji. So we will meet tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow is Saturday. So please do join. Hare Krishna. We'll end our session here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj ki jai. The modern Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Ram Prabhuji, Dandavad. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji, I couldn't give to you because it is already late.
Okay, tomorrow maybe. Okay.
Tomorrow we will do it. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.